Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It's Tuesday morning, and before I get into the main topic of today's video, which is the Idaho 4, I've got updates on the Michael Vaughan case and the Quinton Simon case. So regarding Michael Vaughan, there is a press conference on Thursday, December the 1st at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 8 p.m. my time. I will be streaming that press conference. I'll put a scheduler up nearer the time, and if you look at the time that it says on that scheduler, that will be in your local time. That's how YouTube works. So hopefully we get to find out whether they found anything in relation to Michael's remains or evidence that he was there. I think we're going to get to find that out on Thursday, or whether they're back to square one and whatever credible tip they had to lead them to that house in the first place was a lie. I don't know, so I can't call it. I really can't call it. So I guess we're going to wait till Thursday. And then the update on Quinton Simon, I'm sure many of you are aware. I did put this on my community wall yesterday, but not everyone can see the community tab. The remains found at the landfill, where law enforcement believe Quinton Simon to be, have been confirmed via DNA analysis to be those of Quinton Simon. So this is an update 14 hours ago as I record this. Chatham County Police Department, FBI Atlanta confirms partial remains of Quinton Simon recovered. The FBI Laboratory Division have confirmed through DNA analysis the bones found in the Superior landfill are those of missing 20-month-old Quinton Simon. Chatham County authorities have charged Simon's mother, Leilani Simon, with the murder and other related offences. I think this should be a death penalty case. I think they need to fire up old Sparky and be done with it, quite honestly. I know everyone's innocent till proven guilty, but does anybody believe that she isn't guilty? So Monday, November 28th, authorities officially ceased operations at the landfill and began removing the command post facilities from El Scottsdale Park. The FBI is thankful for the partnership with Chief Jeff Hadley and the entire Chatham County Police Department. A monumental team effort was put forth by everyone involved in bringing closure to this horrific situation. That is sheer dogged determination. That is just excellent police work, in my opinion. And against the odds of finding remains of such a little baby in a landfill, they did it. They did it. They beat the odds. And just monumentally good police work. 5-week search to find Quinton would not have been successful without the dedicated service of several groups. The FBI and Chatham County PD would like to offer their sincere thanks to the following: the management and workers, Waste Management Superior Landfill. This situation was thrust upon them, and the waste management team was extremely cooperative and offered their equipment, time and expertise throughout the search. The forensic anthropologists from Georgia Southern University, who were on site every day verifying any potential human finds. The experts from Team Adam and the National Centre for Missing and Exploited Children, who provided invaluable technical insights. The agents, officers and deputies from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Chatham County Sheriff's Office and the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, who all devoted their time to participate in the landfill search. Quinton Simon's case and the legal proceedings against his mother are now in the hands of the Chatham County District Attorney's Office. Any further questions should be directed to District Attorney Shalina Cook-Jones. How could anyone do that? I'll say again, I've said it before, this is Megan Boswell 2.0. Fire up old Sparky. Fire him up. It makes me so angry. Okay, so let's move on to the Idaho 4. I thought this interview with a former FBI agent was interesting. This is on Fox News. This was posted yesterday, and I just want to play you a minute or so of it. Fox News aren't very good at understanding fair use, so I may have to remove this interview. and I'm only going to play a little bit of it, and it is fair use, and I will put the link to it in the description box. I recommend everybody listen to it all, but Fox News don't tend to understand that, and they might copyright claim a video. If so, I'll have to remove the interview. So if you come at this and you find bits missing, it's because I've had to edit after the fact. It's annoying, but that's what some news channels do. Okay, let's play a little bit here. And I really like what this guy said.
I've heard some analysts saying things that are just soundbite related. One analyst on another network said that it was probably a female or a same-sex argument or something that inflamed it, as though he was wanting to make it an exclusive or all-inclusive type of thing. I don't think that's the case.
I don't think that's the case either. I don't think this was a female. I don't think this was an argument went wrong. This was too planned. This was strategic, in my opinion, premeditated, in my opinion. That's just my view, and I'm not going to share that, I don't think. My number one in my profile that I've been talking about over the last few days, number one, I've put male. 90% of murders are male anyway, but I think in this instance, just the way it was done, I think this is a male. I've not given an age range, but this guy does say young male, and I'm inclined to agree with him.
I'm pretty sure that this was a young male, somebody who could get into the house and get out in that neighborhood without being seen. I don't think it was two people, because the more people you have going into that house, the more likely that it is that they were going to be seen.
Well, I'm not sure about that. I do think it's a lone wolf. The neighbours said that this was a party house. They were used to people coming and going. The inhabitants were respectful, but they were used to seeing people there. It was a party house. These were college kids having the time of their life. So I think two people going in, I don't think would have raised any eyebrows. But for different reasons, I think this was a lone wolf. I'm building up a picture of this person being an incel type, somebody who disliked the inhabitants of that house personally, individually, knew them of a fashion. I think it was someone very local who knew that neighbourhood. Or, as I've discussed in previous videos, they were exemplars of a group that the killer hated. So it's somewhat of a hate crime. I think there's a certain amount of thrill in dispatching people in such a bloody, gory way. But I think the intention, I think the premeditation aspect of it this was hate. But they were cold, calculating. I don't think this was a spur of the moment attack at all.
I think it's one male young enough to have been in that neighborhood. I think the potential is that they entered from the second floor, because the first floor was never disturbed. And there's also a wooded area behind that house.
I agree with that. I agree absolutely with that. I think they went in through the back sliding doors. They could have hid out. Like I said yesterday in my video, they could have been hiding out for weeks, spying their chance. It might not have been the only house that they were looking at. They might have been targeting a few houses, but it just so happened that this one is ideal. It's perfect for a killer to sneak in. Honestly, this reminds me a little bit of the case of Colonel Russell Williams. Now, the situation is very different in that Russell Williams had been breaking into places for years. He was a well-respected colonel in the Canadian Air Force. No one suspected him of anything for years. But he escalated his crimes. He escalated from breaking in, stealing people's underwear, trying on people's underwear, to SA, and then finally to murder. It was his second murder that finally caught him. He wasn't such a good criminal after all. This was the murder of Jessica Lloyd. But he said in his confession, the reason why he targeted Jessica was he saw her through a window on her treadmill. That was it. He had no other connection to Jessica Lloyd other than he saw her on her treadmill, fancied her. So built up this fantasy in his mind. And he calculated when to move in on her. He waited in a field behind the house. That was one of the reasons he was caught, because of his tyre tracks and his footprints. But he hid there behind her house in his vehicle, and then spied his chance, got into the house. held her for 24 hours before he killed her. Now, very different situation, but the point I'm making is that this guy, this killer, might not have had a firm connection with these women at all. And Ethan was not meant to be there anyway. Wouldn't have expected Ethan to be there. I don't think this was targeted at Ethan. That's just my personal opinion. He could have simply have seen them. This house was easily viewable from the back. Like, you could look into the windows at the back. There was 2 sets of sliding doors. Kaylee and Maddie's bedroom windows were to the back. I think this guy, he could have been a dog walker who spied them initially. And I know there was no sexual element to this that we know about, as there was in Russell Williams' case. I think the motive was different. Russell's was sexual. This, I don't think, was. This is fueled by hate. This is potentially somebody who has been spurned, not necessarily by these young women, but by young women generally. So I'll play one final bit of this, and then I'll leave Fox News to copyright claim a video. Please don't, Fox News. Come on. This is fair use. This is genuine fair use for criticism, commentary, education, etc., etc. Okay, final bit.
This is probably not the first time that this person did this. As I explained before, this is an adrenaline-filled incident. When somebody goes in and they kill, especially with a knife, there's a tremendous amount of adrenaline that goes into this. And to do that 4 times in one event shows that this person has most likely not done this before. So people need to realize this individual is probably odd. He's probably shown some type of behavior that people think is strange or menacing when they're close to them. And I would advise people, if they know someone like this, or if they saw something between the hours of 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock when the sun came up on the 13th of November, that they should call law enforcement and just say, this is what I saw and this is where I saw it.
Absolutely. Absolutely agreed. I think this is somebody who has done things before. My profile, I think this was somebody with a criminal profile. This is an escalation, in my opinion. We'll have to wait and see. But in my opinion, I think this was an escalation. I don't necessarily think this was a serial killer. I think this is someone local to the area. But I think people know this guy. I think people could have suspicions about this guy. And if you do, please call law enforcement. Please let them know, even if you don't think it's of much consequence. That little piece of information could be the thing that breaks this case wide open and leads them to the killer. We want justice for Maddie, Kaylee, Xana and Ethan. And we'll only get that justice if people say what they know, people say what they saw. Could be the tiniest piece of information that breaks this case wide open. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there for today. I'll see you very soon in the next video. Goodbye from Miss Tillington and Miss Cassie Springer. Bye, guys.